What's up, YouTube? This is Hello Larry here, and your son of a space ape, your resident extraterrestrial simian. Just wanted to give you a heads up to say I'm not a content creator. I'm not really a YouTuber. So this video is not going to be anything fancy. I just wanted to give a shout out to Monster Island Buddies. If you really want some good Godzilla content, that's a good place to go. Monster Island Buddies enticed me out of the dark corner of my spaceship to pull some little museum artifacts out of my collection that have been sitting in a glass case for close to 25 years now. And it's been way too long. It's been way too long, and their story deserves to be told. A little piece of Godzilla toy history that I think I ought to share with you. So stay tuned, and glory be to Dr. Gory. We're taking a look at a very normal Trendmasters Godzilla figure, but no, wait! Bam! 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 It's the Trendmasters Doom Island unreleased MegaMutations Godzilla. 12 inches. From head to tail, a lot more. Over on your left, there's the little Trendmasters camera. And over here, the 6-inch MegaMutations Godzilla and the 6-inch MegaMutations Destroyer. Despite the beauty of this figure, its unreleased status, it has its little share of kinks. Very squeaky. Parts like this come off a little bit too easily. Squeak a lot. He does have a button on top of his head to fire a red missile out of his mouth, which I have in storage somewhere with other accessories so they don't get lost. That habit I have is storing things away so that they don't get lost, and then nobody ever has to worry about seeing them ever again. But I know I got it somewhere. These pieces here do not want to stay in place very easily. This here, you can see I got a little dab of ticky-tack there that used to keep this closed because it's very loose. Never wanted to stay closed. The spring is still very strong. So strong that sometimes it will just blow this side piece off completely. I'd rather not test that. Over here, virtually identical. It's like they use the same, or they have used a 3D sculpt for this, because the shape, the pose, everything is identical. The articulation's almost identical. I mean, the mechanisms are slightly different, but the shape, everything is almost exactly the same. These three were just about good enough for just about store ready. And it's a shame they never got a full release. This guy over here, also store ready, fully playable. You got this button here, pops out a spike out of his chest. Spring still very active, in great shape. His legs open to have these little, they don't really have much of a spring to them to bring them out, but they do store inside there. Hands don't really do anything. Head Nice thing about the head, notice that this stays in place, the horn, and the head manages to turn completely around with it, because press the wings forward and it fires. Spring still very much active, even after this many years sitting in a glass case. Very nice posable wings. Excuse me, arm in the shot. Nice tail. Very nice pieces there. And here is the grand beast himself. Year was 1997. I was just finishing up my first year of junior college. Had just discovered the internet, but the only way I could get on the internet was through my college computer lab. And while I was there, I discovered that the Trendmasters website was having a giveaway for their unreleased figures. This was shortly before they went into bankruptcy. So I entered it with my email address, left my phone number. They asked for a bunch of little information for it. They were giving away several tiers of prizes. They had the dinosaur packs and a couple of the other figures. And then I kind of forgot that I entered the contest, because I had never really won anything. Didn't expect to win anything. So went home for the semester, was out of classes, had no way to check email or anything. So I'm not sure how much time had passed between when they sent me the email and when they finally tracked me down and called me on the phone to tell me that I had won the grand prize of their contest. Needless to say, it was a very exciting moment for me. It was very nice of them to track me down and find me. They went to a lot of effort. I can't recall the entire conversation, but I do remember the person on the phone saying that they figured that it might have been a college email address that I wasn't able to, because it was an EDU address, that I might not have been there for the semester to find it, so they tracked me down to let me know. They could have just given it to somebody else. But somebody was really nice about it. Now the box that this came in was enormous. It was almost big enough to hold a washing machine. I'm not even exaggerating with that. It is the biggest box that I have ever seen shipped. I mean, I just got a new refrigerator, a medium-sized refrigerator, and I think the box was about the same size. And when I opened it up, this thing was nestled in between the biggest mountain, the biggest ball of bubble wrap that I've ever seen in my life. Because, as they told me over the phone, this particular piece was very fragile. The wings, there are sections of the wings that are made out of resin. This still functions in the way that the smaller version functioned. The legs, the feet are made out of vinyl, but the body is made out of weaker material. The head, notice this was clearly an early test prototype. You can see that places where things were going to go didn't quite make it. This doesn't open up. It was broken. It had to be re-glued in place. You can see some of the paint flecked off of it. This wing, regardless of how much bubble wrap they put in the box, this wing, wait a minute, is that the wing? No, that's not the wing. This wing here, it still moves a little bit. This wing was broken off in the box. Because this here, there's not really anything holding it on there. It was already glued to begin with. You can't see it because there's so much glue holding it in place, because the wings are so heavy that they just broke off under their own weight, that there's just like a metal piece of thumbtack inside there that had pinned it to the back. So it just had like somebody just thumbtacked it to the back just to see how the wing would look. This wing used to be fully functional, used to move up and down, but it also broke off and had to be glued there. It was a functional wing, had to be glued on to hold it in place. So in the end of the day, the wings are a little bit crooked. It was very difficult to glue those back. I could remove that wing and make it the right angle, but I don't really want to do that. But this is virtually the condition that it came in when it got to me, other than a couple of little glue spots here and back here. Other than that, it spent most of its life inside of a trophy case, glass trophy case, and not handled very much, because it's very loose and pieces will come off very easily. Now, I've seen that there are some fully store-ready prototype versions of this that exist, and I sure wish I had one of those, but this is still one of my pride and joy. It's a beautiful piece, one of the biggest kaiju figures that I've got. I've not always really been the biggest fan of Destroyer, but this means a lot to me. And here we've got the 6-inch that shows exactly what the 12-inch would have done. We've got the spring-loaded chest spike. We've got the slightly spring-loaded leg spikes. And earlier in the video you saw the horn fire. And there you have it. And then finally, just for a sense of scale, here's a group photo of 3 of my absolute favorites. There's the Monster Art Special Color Version Biollante, Destroyer, MegaMutation, and the NECA 1962 Godzilla, and the little Biollante finger puppet. Beauties.